Hey everybody, how you doing? Um, I'm doing this video right now because I normally don't do these. I normally do Facebook Lives and have people comment, but I just want to speak from my heart. And in reference to some stuff I think people might need to hear, might encourage them, and might help them as it's helped me. A lot of times people look at you and they think they know your story, know your journey based on what they see visually every day. People assume they know you based on what you present to them. Your personality, your laughter, your energy, by the people you hang around, by the places you go, people you hang with. They assume they know you. And then in essence, they really don't. And throughout the years of my life, I've learned that I've always been one to try to put on the person I thought people needed me to be. If you needed me to be a protector, I'd be a protector. If you needed me to be the funny man, I'd be the funny man. If you needed me to be your savior as far as coming to the rescue, I'd be that. If you needed me somebody to go down with you and get it popping, I would do that. If you wanted me to be a spiritual advisor, I'd pray with you. If you need somebody to cry with, I'd cry with you. If you need a place to stay, I'd be the house. If you need some place to eat, I'd be the food. You know what I mean? I've always been that type of dude. But you don't realize sometimes that even with being those people, who are you really? Who are you outside of who everybody needs you to be? And so throughout my life, throughout the years of my life, I've seen myself metamorph into 1,000 people to please not only family, friends, but even my church friends, church relationships, spiritual advisors, pastors, everybody. And it takes a toll on you mentally trying to live for other people. And then as you go through your life, they don't understand what it costs to be you. Everybody's always talking about, like, you're such a happy guy, you're such a fun guy, you have all this stuff going on. But people really don't know the cost of being who you are. People don't know how much you cry, how much you hurt, how angry you are attempting to be who you are. And I've gone through some things in my life that were horrendous, and people really don't know the story. They know the parts of it that is convenient for them to make their judgments by, but they don't know my whole story. And so as of recently, like I said, so you guys have seen that I've been very, very blessed as of recently with Nick Cannon buying me a car for being a great educator and person in his view. And then I was afforded the opportunity to win a truck on Let's Make a Deal, which was a blessing as well. And then my other successes as far as entertainment and music. But I just want to talk about the fact that all those successes came at great cost. That's what I want to talk about, that people don't know. People walk up to me and say, Ty, you're so blessed. You're so blessed. You got so much going on. People know your name, and we see you on TV, and you're winning stuff, and you're doing stuff, and you're meeting people. And I'm very humbled, and I'm thankful, but you don't know the cost. And that's what I want to talk about. I've lost a lot. If people did not know, I've lost a lot in the last, I would say, 2015 was the hardest year of my life. 2016, very, very hard. I'm gonna talk about that. But before then, I lost my grandfather and my grandmother and my dad, my stepdad, which was very, very hard losses as well. But 2014, sorry, 2014. 2014, everybody knows I have a choir named Extreme Purpose. We've been together for almost 10 years, and that choir has gone through 1,000 transitions. from being a huge, huge choir, from being a group to a choir to a group to a choir. And a lot of ups and downs have been because of myself. I can't blame anybody else for the ins and outs of the group. But it's almost been 10 years that we've been together. 2014, I was directing the choir called the KJ's Radio Free Choir. And I was also working with my own choir, which is titled Extreme Purpose. And we were blessed to have the opportunity to fix my choir, a reality show that was on Oxygen. That show in 2014 probably was the hardest thing for me to do as a leader, as a choir director, because I've always enjoyed being on TV, and that's my thing. I like TV, entertainment, music. I like all that. Doing Fix My Choir and watching the whole show tear my choir to shreds, seeing the hurt and the pain that the journey we went through was very hard to watch. People said it was so entertaining, it was so good, the other side of that was very dark. The other side of that show was very dark. We had one of the hardest episodes, if not the hardest episode to get through to navigate, because there was so much going on that even I wasn't aware of. And it emotionally was very taxing. The scene when I was crying, I was really like an emotional breakdown based on everything I've been through. Because being in leadership my entire life, I've been a choir director my entire life. I've been in ministry music everywhere. I've done it in my entire life. But the amount of pain and work and tears that's gone into doing music and leading people, leading God's people in the music realm has been daunting in my life. I have cried, I have hurt, I've been angry, I've battled so much stuff in the midst of trying to lead God's people. And it was very, very difficult. Extremely, extremely difficult. Even to the point so much where I wanted to give up. I've quit numerous people, numerous churches, just hurt because you try to pour all yourself into people and it's not always reciprocated. And you don't know how to balance that. And I was at a young age leading people. I was 19, 20, 21 in charge of music departments. And having to lead people who are twice my age, having to deal with pastors and pastors' wives and deacons and stuff where I was learning who I was at the same time trying to lead others. And it was very hard. So coming to Fix My Choir and watching this, and I watched to one of my dearest friends, Italia, who's been with me for almost 25 years in music. She always says, we always do things the hard way. For some reason, God has always taken me the hard way to get to successes. And we've had many successes. But Fix My Choir was the hardest thing up to that point that I had to deal with. As a result of Fix My Choir, because of the hard way we went, God opened a lot of doors. A lot of doors. But I had a lot of tears before the doors were open. A lot of anger. A lot of people walked out on me. I was ran down and talked about and called type of names to get through that, to get my choir blessed and the people connected to me blessed. So it was a hard mountain to climb, but we got through it. While I was doing Fix My Choir, I was afforded the idea. I'm a game show. They call me the game show guru. I've been on a whole bunch of game shows. I was able to go on another reality show called Worst Cooks of America. So Worst Cooks of America is filmed in New York, and I was doing that. So when I Fixed My Choir, I was doing that. And everyone knows my mom, Lana, who is now with the Lord, was my best friend. That's my mom. And so in the midst of Fixing My Choir, she came to Fix My Choir tapings, that kind of stuff. Worst Cooks of America, I was going through Worst Cooks of America, going through taping that in New York. I was in New York, taping the show, having a good time, talking to her every night. And the night of June 29th, I talked to my mom before I went to sleep. And I said, good night, Mom, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Because I just got voted off the show for being a horrible cook. And I had an emotional breakdown on the episode. I had a breakdown so much on the episode that I ended up injuring one of the cameramen because I ran out the door because I had a breakdown because I couldn't finish my dish. I couldn't get it completed, and I was so angry. I was crying. They had to hug me. It was emotional. I had channeled all my energy and anger when I got voted out. Went home, talked to my mom that night, woke up 8 hours later to her husband calling me, telling me that my mom was dead. My mother had died within those 6 hours of me laying down, closing my eyes, getting up, because I was going home, flying home the next day. I was flying home in 10 hours. My mama died in 6. Now imagine being in New York on a 78th story building and getting that phone call. and you're in New York by yourself. It was a very hard thing. Very, very, very hard thing. I emotionally had a complete mental breakdown. And the first thing the devil told me to do was jump. Jump out the window, you'll be with your mom. I heard in theory. Jump. Instantly, you'd be gone. I had to fight that back just to try to fly back to a mother that was dead. I want you to hear me. Hope this helps somebody. I'm leaving New York, have a 6-hour flight by myself back to California to bury my mother, who was in Las Vegas. Hardest thing I ever do. Hardest thing I ever do. And I never thought I would go through that because my mother wasn't old. My mother was 55 at the time. What you want to know? And I had to go bury my mom, my best friend, my buddy, my confidant, who I laughed and talked to all the time, my mom. Flying back, I had a breakdown on the plane, breakdown in the airport. Strangers were comforting me because I couldn't stop crying. I literally couldn't stop crying. If you never lost your mother, you don't understand this kind of pain. But it was the hardest thing, the pain that still, it will never go away. Got back to bury my mom. That was June 30th, my mom died. June 30th. I talked to her June 29th, she died June 30th. Prior to that, in April, my uncle died. My mother lived in Vegas. I went to go visit my mom in Vegas. We went to go visit my uncle in Vegas, and my uncle was sick, but he had improved. Come find out in April that my uncle died. My mother was comforting my uncle. Had no idea that in June my mother was gonna die. So, very difficult, very hard. My mother died on a Tuesday. I went to work the next day because I didn't have any vacation time to take off any time because I knew what the expenses were going to be. So I had to go to work the next day because I had to work. So I couldn't mourn my mother's death because I had to work to help her to bury my mother. My mom didn't have any insurance. I'm the oldest child. And my mother's husband of 20 plus years packed up her house and said, I'm not helping you, I'm not doing nothing. And left. After 20 plus years of marriage, we hid nothing from his ass. Nothing. Packed up all my mama's furniture, everything. My little brother, who was living with my mom at the time, grabbed all he could out of my mama's house, put him out, and he left. That was it. And told me he's not coming to the service because it's not for her, it's for us. That's what I had to deal with. My mother's brothers, oldest brother, they said they couldn't help at all. Nothing. Zero rags. Yeah. This is real talk. This is what I really went through. So I'm in this thing by myself. Thank God for friends. Thank God for good friends. My best friend, Amaya, my cousin, Demi, my brother, Cameron, a whole bunch of other people. Nick was a whole bunch of people that came, my sister, Renee. People came to my rescue and helped me get through it. Because I was ready to give up. Being real transparent. I was ready to give up. How am I going to bury my mother? Really? Really? That's what you want me to do? Okay, God. Because then you get mad. God, I sang. I prayed. I let people live with me. I've loaned to our money. I've gone sick. Did you ask me to do? I've done it all as much as I possibly could. You take my mother. Mine. Some of my friends' mothers are 20, 30 years older than my mom, still kicking. You take mine. And I've always been an emotional person. Always. In the midst of all that, I tried to commit suicide during the process of trying to bury my mom. I was drinking, driving, trying to crash the car off a cliff. This is being real what was going on. I took my phone off so somebody could find me. I'm driving around for dinner, drunk as the devil, hoping to go off a cliff. Woke up, passed out in the middle somewhere in the street. This is real talk. It was one of those situations where if it had not been for the Lord, who decided that you can't take care of yourself out, you have more to do, I would have been gone. Period. So got through that. My friends rallied behind me, and people who just put up and just came by and helped. We got it done. That was June. In December 2015, my youngest brother, my brother underneath me died. Gone. So now I can't even mourn my mother, because now my brother's dead. June, December, brother dies. Falls on me. Now I'm supposed to be the head of the household, and I'm an emotional wreck. And I'm supposed to be the head of the household now. And my family on my mother's side is not close. We're not. My mother, my mother's brothers, and me and my cousins on that side, we're not close. We're family, but we never were close. We never were like that. When my grandmother and my grandfather got divorced, we split, and it's been that way since I was a kid. It's never been close. Then we come to January 2016. My other uncle dies. Another uncle dies. February, my mother's father, my grandfather dies. 2016, he dies. We're just people just walking off the earth. And mind you, while all this is going on, I'm trying to keep my sanity and look out for my little brother and my younger sister. Trying to be the rock, and I can't even be emotional and cry because I got to keep my sister especially from being an emotional wreck. Because I still have my biological father, but my sister and my little brother don't have my mother or my father. Their father. So how hard do you think it is? When your sister is calling you and she's screaming in the phone because she said, I want my mom back. I want my dad back. I want my grandfather back. I want my grandmother back. I want my brother. And I have to be the one to tell her, calm down, sis. It's going to be okay. We're going to get through it. But I'm just as broken as she is. But I'm trying to hold it together to get her through it. That's real talk. But I kept smiling, kept laughing, kept trying to be the happy guy. Because I know something has to be happening. And God was in control. And it don't feel like God is in control. It don't seem like God is in control. But God ultimately must be doing something. But I just had to keep pushing. Fast forward to 2018. People know I'm an actor. I do the acting thing. And I submit for different things. And luckily I got selected to do a couple TV game shows, which were really good. But while I'm doing that, I'm also a special ed teacher. for the school district. And they had transferred me from different sites while this district was being rebuilt. And they moved me to a site, and I developed pertussis, which is whooping cough. I didn't know what it was in the beginning. My doctor diagnosed it as bronchitis. And with pertussis, for those who don't know, it starts off like bronchitis. Your doctor only thinks it's bronchitis. And there's 3 stages of whooping cough. If you don't catch it in the first stage, you get the second stage, they can't catch it. By the third stage, it's pertussis. That's when you can't stop coughing. So I got really sick. This was like, I started getting sick November, I think 2017, the end of the year. Like November, December, I started getting a little bit sick, but I took bronchitis medicine. Come January, transferring to schools, I was a little bit better. Then by February, I got sick again, and the cough was worse. Taking medicine, yada, 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 yada. Transferred me to another school, transferred to McKinley, and now the coughing is so profuse that I'm passing out. But I wasn't passing out, I was just falling asleep, like I was drowsy. They took me off for work. I was off for work for a few days, going to the doctor, getting some rest. And I went back to work, trying to feel a little better, and it came back again harder. So in the midst of me going back and forth to work, trying to get through it, I had an audition for Big Brother. Right after my birthday, I had an audition for Big Brother. I went to the audition for Big Brother, and I passed out in the audition line. People in line go to the audition. I didn't know I passed out. I remember standing up, trying to give the parking attendant a ticket, and I woke up. I was on the ground in a pool of blood, my face smashed, everything. I passed literally out in the middle of the street. They rushed me to the hospital to Cedars-Sinai, stitched you up, and the doctor said at that point, you have pertussis. Get back to the doctor, you have pertussis. So I was like, what? They think pertussis is really bad. So I got out of hospital that day, drove back home, which was dangerous because now I'm passing out, drove back home. I passed out again at home in the middle of the floor, coughing to pass out. Rushed to emergency. They kept me for 10 days. They said, you have pertussis. You cannot go back to work. Because I was unsafe. I was literally coughing so much that I was passing out in different places. I would lose my oxygen and pass out. The doctor had never seen it like this in an adult in a long time. Because pertussis is not something, it's a kid's disease, not an adult disease. Got that shit like passing out like crazy. Took me off for work. Now, took me off for work. So you don't work, you have no money. I had one little part-time job and I was getting half income. Not enough income to pay rent, light, gas, cable, cell phone, food, car note, insurance, all that. I was juggling everything I could juggle. Didn't have enough money to come in. June 1st, I was at home, sick as a dog. I was taking about 20 pills. I was on breathing machines. I was drinking liquids. I had masks. I was so sick, I wasn't sleeping at night. Because every time I slept, my head filled up with congestion that I was screaming, having panic attacks, going to emergency every 2 days. My dad had to come stay with me to watch me because I was having panic attacks because I would not close my eyes. I was up all night. And if I closed my eyes, it was like 15 minutes before the congestion took over and I couldn't take it anymore. That's how sick I was. June 1st, I was at home. They came right up into my driveway, repoed my car. Drove it up out of here. I saw them take my car off the street. Took it right out of here. Repoed it. Did I get mad? I didn't get mad. I didn't get angry. I didn't get frustrated. Because I knew the guy was in control. Period. I mean, they repoed the car. I called my cousin, so they got the car. She said, what? You're not mad? Mm-mm. The Lord give it, he take it away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. That's how my attitude was. I called my friend Steph and said, repoed the car. What you gonna do? I don't know. I ain't worried about it. God knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. So I'm off work. They repoed the car. And I had already booked the opportunity to go on Let's Make a Deal, which was my mother's favorite show, game show. So I booked to go on Let's Make a Deal. It's a game show for those you know. And I already had went on there. I mean, I'd gone on there, I know audition, I know it was going to be on the show. I know I was going to get picked, yada, yada, yada. So I go audition, and I text the casting director who put me on the show, I'm going to win a car today. He's like, you better win one. I said, I'm going to win a car today. That's the goal. Went on there, and the first game, they called me toward the middle. The first little game, God was in the middle of it. I didn't win the car, but I got a prize, which got me to the end of the show where I won the truck. The crazy part is this. The day I went on the show was June 30th. It's the same day of my mother's death anniversary. June 30th, I'm on Let's Make a Deal. I'm talking about my mom on the show. It was my mom's favorite show. And I won an SUV on that day. I screamed, I cried, I knew it was the Lord. But in the interim that, you can't get the car until the show airs, after the show airs. So they said the show was going to air in November. So I had to wait to get the car. I'm like, cool. They sure ain't never going to get the car right after that. Cool. Because I already been on a couple other game shows at once, so I kind of knew how it worked. So I was cool. In the midst of that, I got better. I was walking to work. I walked 3.5 miles from my job, where my house was. I was walking to work every day. Walking to work, Ubering home. Walking to work, Ubering home. Had no choice, I had to walk. But I was positive about it. I wasn't mad. Because it was what I had to deal with. In the midst of that, I was busy at my church, working hard, staying faithful, paying my tithes, helping people, still on that money, letting people live with me. The whole thing. This is what I don't know what else to do. Keep going forward. I see a casting. I submit for it. They call me back. It's a give back show where some celebrity wants to help somebody that really needs it that's been good in their community. So everybody knows I'm Mr. Tigger. I've been working in the community of Pasadena for 25 years in LA County, working with kids, youth, doing music, doing sports, games, camps, after school. That's what I do. Or most of the kids, half the kids say no Mr. Tigger, a lot of adults know Mr. Tigger. But I've always given my all in my job to my students. I give them everything I got every time. That's all I know. They picked me. Nick Cannon was the star of the show. He came to my house, heard my story. They auditioned me, they talked to me, yada, yada, yada. They decided to pick me as a deserving individual who had gone through a lot, who needed a break. God bless Nick to buy me a car. Thank you, Lord. That's how God works. Thank you, Lord. That's how God works. Nick Cannon came to my school, did a whole show on me at the school. I told him what I lost, the sickness and the pain and the anger and the hurt, the disappointment. He bought me a car. So here I go from having no car to 2 paid cars within 6 months. But people say, you're so blessed, you're so blessed. I am. But you didn't see the tears. You didn't see the hurt. You didn't see the disappointment. You didn't see me in the hospital. You didn't see how I almost died multiple times due to this sickness. You don't see how people talked about me, lied on me, have stabbed me in the back, run me down as I've tried to help people. No one has seen that. And everyone doesn't know about it. Some people do, but don't know to the how severe it was. But I've always tried to look at the other brighter side. Now, mind you, I'm not going to pretend. I've done some bad stuff in my life. I have not been perfect. I've made some bad choices, and I've hurt some people my own self. So that's why I can't be angry or judgmental of those who hurt me, because I've hurt people. And we all have. We all have fallen short of the glory of God. We all have messed up. We've all done things we shouldn't have done. Everybody has. So that can't be the story that we're too good to be hurt because we've hurt other people. But I know that what I've been through was hard. And it cost me something. People will say, you Dr. Choir, you're so anointed, you're so gifted, yada, yada, yada. It cost me something. A lot of tears, a lot of hurt, a lot of disappointments, a lot of being backstabbed, a lot of being run down, trying to do music, trying to lead people, trying to keep things together. coming out of my pocket and covering stuff that people have no idea I had to do. Going broke on my own, not having to pay my bills, paying somebody else's. But I tried to stay faithful and help people, because that's what we're supposed to do as Christians. It just happens now that God has come back around the corner and decided to bless me. But I'm a firm believer that I tell people, when God blesses you or anybody else, that means the line is moving up. So somebody else's turn is coming. So you can't hate on nobody else's blessings. When my friends get blessed, I'm so happy for them. I shout, I scream, I congratulate them. I'm so thankful. I want everybody to be a millionaire. I want everybody to get Academy Awards and Grammys. I want everybody to buy their houses, get married. I want it all. Because you can't get nothing with a closed fist. You can't be successful hating on your brothers and your sisters. So God decided to bless me. He said, it's your turn. You double for your trouble. So now I got 2 cars I'm going to pick from when I want to drive on. And I know it's more coming because I've laid the foundation of sacrifice. I laid the foundation of determination. I put my tithes in good ground. I put my time, talent, and treasury in good ground. And God has to bless me. That's what this word says. You ask, you shall receive. You follow His principles, you get blessed. Period. So I'm telling you all this to say, don't look at people and just assume that it was easy for them to get where they are. Or that I would love to have what they got. Would you love to go through what they went through? What you should ask. Am I willing to go through all of that to get what they got? Count up the cost before you look at people and think what they have was so simple. I've lost almost my whole family on my mama's side. I got pictures where my family's not even in them. Everybody in the picture is dead but me. I have those photos, but everyone in the picture is gone. But I have to keep pressing because I know there's more God wants me to do. There's some other doors God has opened for me that I have to go through. And I'm realizing now, everybody can't go. I can't take everybody with me. There's a season or an epoch for everything. The time for everything. And everybody can't go. So stay diligent. Stay consistent. Don't give up. Don't let the pain and the hurt and disappointment deter you from moving forward. Don't let the pain, the hurt, disappointment deter you from moving forward. Because it's going to get better. God's going to come through. He's going to heal the pain. He's going to wipe the tears away. And you will be okay. I'm telling you, you will be okay. You will make it. You will get through it. You will survive it. If I can survive losing all those people, including my mother, if I can lose all my money, if I can lose my peace, my sanity, my health, and still give God the glory and say, well, for God I live and for God I die, blessed be the name of the Lord. If I can believe that and hold on to that and still go work 2 jobs and deal with job drama and family drama and friend drama and still put a smile on my face and say, I know I'm going to be okay. You can do it too. God, I'm a respected person. What He does for one, He'll do for another. You can make it. So I hope this video helps somebody. Share it. Tell somebody about it. And it was on my heart to lay it out for somebody. It's going to be okay. Stay prayed up. Stand still and know that He is God. God bless you. Love you.